let me just start with saying that if you're asking what to eat, you're doing that because you don't want to make a mistake. And I totally get that. But if not making a mistake stops you from starting keto or carnivore, you're already making a huge mistake. Because not starting means that your body is still being poisoned by sugar every single day, that you're still on this standard diet, right? And that's creating damage to your internal organs and adding weight to your body. So we need to get this under control. We need to fix this situation. So when people ask me what to eat, the problem that I see is the focus is in the wrong place. So here's one thing I will say is that you don't actually have to start keto or carnivore perfectly, right? Like I could tell you for myself, I didn't start it perfectly. When I started keto, although I did like throw the junk food out like immediately, except for dark chocolate, I was still doing that. And I was still making keto replacements. So I didn't start it perfectly. But what I did do was get my carb count down to like 50, 70s, like somewhere there. And even with my carb count still ridiculously above 20, I lost weight. And I started to feel better. And it took me probably, I checked at one point, I can't remember right now, but I think it was like more than a month. I think the first time that I really got my carbs under 20 and stayed there was around the time I did my first fast. So that was like really far into the process. You don't need to start perfectly in order to get the benefit of keto or carnivore. At the same time, you do need to do it properly if you want to get the long-term benefits. So if you want this to change your world, you need to do it properly. So the questions I get, people ask me what to eat. People ask me what foods are keto. And I feel like what foods are keto talks about the lie that we've been told that that's what it's about, that there's special foods to eat to be keto. So if you're believing this, you're believing that lie that food companies are telling you that special foods fall into special diets, fall into, right? And they tell us this because then they can sell us products, right? They can sell us products that are more towards a Mediterranean style something versus, of course, we have that whole vegan, vegetarian style something, and you have the keto style something. And have you gone to the grocery store and saw things that said keto on them? Like that by itself should have us alarmed because it's not about eating food. So anyway, okay, I'm not going to get back into that topic, but the food is not complicated, but companies try to make it complicated because if they make it complicated and make you think that you need a special food list and special recipes in order to understand what to eat and how to cook what you're eating, then you're either A, less likely to do it and you stay with their garbage, or B, they can sell you garbage. So they kind of get you either way. So here's the actual easy answer, right? Eat foods that have zero carbs. If you are confused about what foods fall under a ketogenic way of eating, if you are confused about what to eat foods that have zero carbs. So those are the easiest foods you're going to be able to figure out. So what are the foods that have zero carbs? Meat. Any kind of meat is going to be zero carb. Any kind of poultry is going to be zero carb. Any kind of fish is going to be zero carb. And of course, eggs, zero carb. If you stick to eating just those things, yes, you're doing keto because carnivore is a subset of keto, and you'll get into a ketogenic state and you will start your body down the road of feeling amazing, because when you eat that way and you realize that your body feels amazing, that will be because you don't have carbs messing with your health. So the question now is, why isn't it that easy, right? If that's the answer, why isn't everybody just carnivore? And it's because you think you want to eat more than just meat. and you think it. And I'm saying it that way on purpose because that's actually a lie. We've been in a scenario that's created addiction that pushes us to want to eat sugar. And we're willing to take that sugar from wherever we can get it. So that means cookies, that means chocolate, that means sweet potato. We will take the sugar from wherever we can get it. We know people who will drink anything, right? They might have a preference for bourbon or vodka or whatever, but they'll drink anything. That's because it's not that they want, it's that they need. Wellness where you either believe you can eat healthy or you believe the lie that eating healthy is hard. It isn't hard. Putting a cookie in your mouth is the same effort as putting a piece of chicken. And if you didn't cook it, the chicken, it's the same effort completely, right? If I cook for you and I put chicken or I put cookies, same effort. If you believe the lie that eating healthy tastes bad, again, you're not going to do it, right? Because it doesn't taste bad. If you eat tasty food, it tastes good. For example, I know that you've gone to fancy restaurants before where they've prepared you a steak, a pork chop, some chicken, some duck, name the meat, name the fish, some salmon, some shark. Like they prepared something for you that was healthy that you walked away saying that was the best I've ever had in my life. So eating healthy doesn't have to taste bad. Okay, they'll tell you eating healthy isn't fun. I would love for you to find me the person that feels that eating garbage, being fun, is better than feeling healthy. When they start to understand that that's what's actually happening, when they truly get it, that you've been eating garbage and that's why your body feels horrible. And as a matter of fact, if that person is no longer able to walk or no longer able to do their activities because they can't breathe, or right, when they actually figure out that garbage caused that, everybody puts it down for as long as they can put it down until the lies come back and get them in this mindset again. The mindset that says, but it's not fun to eat healthy food. You need to stop and think about what is safe for you, right? And what's safe for you to eat depends on how you actually react to food. For example, I cannot eat tomatoes, potatoes, although that wouldn't be on my diet anyways, eggplant. I cannot eat these foods because like they cause me to react, right? They spark off my violet syndrome and then I feel horrible and I'm limping around and my back hurts and all the things. Because why? Because I react to nightshades. What do you react to? See, the hard answer to what should I eat is investigate the foods you're eating. Take a look at your standard diet. And part one is you're going to go into whether it's an app that you're using or you're going to go to Google and find out, okay, what's the carb count for 100 grams of this food? And I say you use 100 grams so you can compare things easily. 100 grams of potatoes, 100 grams of rice, 100 grams of pasta compared to 100 grams of broccoli, 100 grams of tomato, because maybe you can eat that, 100 grams of insert healthy food. And now I start comparing them and start to realize, okay, the foods that will allow me to be under 20 grams of carbs every day are these ones. If I put this much on my plate and that much on my plate, and I can mix and match them, Wellness Warrior, as long as for my day, it turns out that it's under 20 grams of carbs per day. Part of the reason that initially I didn't start off at my 20 was because I was mixing, matching things and not really paying attention to I did that homework and said, oh, all of these are nice low, but then I wasn't weighing what I was eating. So of course I was going over. Once I started to weigh it, I started to realize where my mistakes were. But once you have this list of foods and you know which foods you theoretically can eat to keep you under 20, and you start doing that and you're staying under 20, the next part of the story is, how does my body react to these foods? Am I still having pain? Am I still having bloating? Maybe. Is there still stuff happening? Because what's interesting to me is that I was losing weight. Everything was looking like it was going well until the pain came back. Why did the pain come back? Because once you get the carbs under control, your body's going to show you what's the next thing you have to work on. This is why people think and say that it's too hard to do this. But Wellness Warrior, what's the alternative? I eat the garbage and I just feel crappy anyway, but it's fun to eat. At least I think it's fun to eat, but how do I know it's fun to? Again, I'm addicted. So is that really fun, or is that just my brain reacting and I'm being a robot giving the food company my money? You need to decide what's going to be on your plate. And the only way to decide is to let yourself look at the carb count and how your body reacts to each of these foods. And we don't do it because it takes too long, right? Because it stops us from having fun. We don't want to take the time to open the app to input the foods we're eating. We don't want to take the time to open the app and insert the recipe. If we do these things, we'll get the results. And you might need to put yourself on an elimination style diet of some sort, whether it's do carnivore and reintroduce things one at a time, or do keto and take things away and see if you feel better. But you need to allow your body to tell you what's working and tell you what's not working, because it actually takes work to feel better. And if you don't do the work, then you're believing the lie that says that you're not worth it. Where does that lie come from? That lie comes from food companies once again. See, when I was eating their garbage and I was feeling horrible, heaven forbid I would have kept going down that road and disappeared from this planet. What would the food company say? Oh, Susie, come up here and take Violet's place. They don't stop for anything. They just insert new person. They actually go off and try to figure out ways to get younger and younger of our people eating this junk. That's why they come up with those lunchbox things that we can make those chocolate bars even smaller so that mom doesn't feel guilty giving their kid a whole chocolate bar, but they get to give them a treat. They're constantly trying to get more of us on board with eating their garbage, and we need to see it. Because if we don't see it, we're not going to change it. And if we don't change it, we keep eating this way, hurting our bodies and not getting the results that we want. Are you believing the lie of it's convenient over what's healthy for you? Right? Because I can take it from the freezer and put it in the oven and walk away, and 20 minutes later, I have a meal. Guess what I figured out? As long as I've defrosted my meat, I can take it from the fridge and put it in the frying pan. And because I took the few weeks it took me to figure out exactly what number do I have to put my stove at in the frying pan, I could actually walk away because I set a timer, and then I come back and I flip and I reset my timer and I can walk away again. And I've got this for each meat that I eat. I have it down to a science. I know exactly how long to leave it on my stove, because my stove is different than your stove. So I can't even give you I can't give you that data. You need to do the work to figure that out, Wellness Warrior. Is your health worth it? Is it worth it that this way is faster versus my health, right? The speed at which I got 20 minutes here, maybe this process takes me 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm saving 15-ish minutes. Is it worth it to me versus my health? Am I willing to trade 15 minutes for my health? I'm willing to give away an hour for my health. So 15 minutes is a no-brainer, right? And how tasty is what I'm eating now versus what I was eating before? Again, we keep confusing addicted for flavor. When you're no longer addicted and you're eating the food, now how does it taste? I could tell you, because I had the opportunity to have a strawberry after I had put down like garbage for how long was it? I would say so July, April, May, June, July. So 3 months. And after 3 months, when I tried that strawberry, it tasted gross to me. It was too sweet. It was ick. It was like making my mouth like, ugh. We're supposed to eat vegetation when we can't find food, because guess what? When you're starving, you'll eat dirt. So that strawberry, you don't care what it tastes like. You're going to eat it. Not when we have ample access to healthy food. We shouldn't be doing this to ourselves. We're harming ourselves. What do you believe, Wellness Warrior? Do you believe the lie that the food companies keep trying to tell us, that food is for fun? Or do you believe the truth, that food is to build your body and fuel your body? Because that's what it's supposed to be for. And when you believe the truth, it actually points you towards eating the right foods, and the food that helps your body to feel pain-free, strong, and energized, right? So that you can go out and do what you want to do. Be that person that you want to be. Enjoy your life. Now, what happens when I see the truth and I decide to engage with it? Well, then I'm going to eat for health, and that tastes amazing. And you're probably like, wait a minute, why would that taste amazing? It tastes amazing because healthy food actually tastes good when you stop eating garbage. It's this crazy thing that if I'm not washing my mouth out with sugar every single day, just sugar. If I'm not doing that, then these normal foods taste delicious again. But if I'm constantly eating sweet, drinking sweet, and stevia or erythritol, it doesn't matter where the sweet is coming from, potatoes have carbohydrates in them that even though in your mouth it doesn't taste sweet, it's still giving your brain that hit that says, hey, Violet, go get that potato. If you want to see the truth, you need to let yourself see it. Because guess what? You're believing something, right? It's not like you don't believe anything. If you aren't believing the truth, it's by default, you're believing the lie. And we need to pause and really understand, where did the lie come from? It came from the people who benefit from the lie, right? The food companies. And then from them, if you're not in their system anymore because maybe you're hospitalized or something, then you have the pharma and you have the medical and you have, that's not to our best interest. That's basically giving money away. So if you're not believing the truth, Wellness Warrior, you're believing their lies. And I want you to stop. I want you to verify with yourself. Really stop and ask yourself, what am I believing? And then you need to actively decide to believe the truth. Because the only way that you can actually change your life is by acting on something. And I need you all to see something. Up until this point, you've been acting on the lie. This healthy stuff tastes bad. I'm going to do this. This healthy stuff is too hard. I'm going to do this. This healthy stuff is too, insert whatever reason you keep giving yourself, too complicated, to whatever. So I'm going to do this easy. I'm going to do this fun. I'm going to do this tasty. I'm going to do this killing my body thing over here because this takes work. Wellness Warrior, please do the work.